Warning, there are people pretending to be me in the comments. This is what a comment from me looks like. Notice that the name is spelled perfectly, and notice the border around the name. That's how you know it's from me. You can also click on my name to make sure you actually go to my channel to double check. And this is what a comment from an imposter will look like. It has weird characters in the name or comment, and it's usually going to ask you to add them on WhatsApp or Telegram. I don't have WhatsApp or Telegram, and I would never ask you to add me on there. Alright, so please be careful, use your common sense, and now let's get back to the video. Hey, how's it going, GPU heads? Thanks for clicking on my video. 𝗧-𝗦𝗛𝗚 here. And guys, have you seen that like mining Flux is crazy profitable right now? We're gonna have a look at that in this video today, and we're also going to look at how to mine Flux and exactly what makes it so profitable. But before then, this video is actually sponsored, and it's sponsored by Minerpool.org, which means we can do another giveaway. And Minerpool.org really went above and beyond in this video. We're gonna be giving away 1,000 Flux, which you can go check out the current price of Flux right now, and you'll see that that is a lot of money. I am so excited about that, and you're gonna have to stay until the end of the video to see how you can enter to win in this giveaway. But for now, let's jump on over to the computer and let's have a look at Flux mining, shall we? Alright guys, so we are on the computer right now, and let's start by just having a look at just how profitable mining Flux really is right now. So I am on good old 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗍, and I have put in just a single 3070 into our calculations here, and according to 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗍, a single 3070 mining Flux will make you over $10 a day, and currently $10.43 after electricity costs, to be specific. And put that, you know, compared to mining Ethereum, which would only make you $4.59 on that same 3070 right now after electricity costs. So according to these numbers, mining Flux would be more than twice as profitable as mining Ethereum on a 3070, which is absolutely crazy. And it is, if that sounds a little bit too good to be true, it's because it is, because on 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗍 here we're using the difficulty for revenue, the average from the last 7 days. And what's happened is, because Flux mining profitability has just shot up through the roof in these past few hours, well, so has the amount of people mining Flux, of course, which means that the actual numbers, you know, that you're seeing here on 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗍 might not be 100% accurate. So with that said, let's have a look at the actual network difficulty as well. So for that, we can go to good old Minerpool.org, and yeah, as you can see here, network hash rate used to be at around 4 to maybe 450 kilo solutions per second, and it's now gone up to 1,000 kilo solutions per second. So it has, you know, more than doubled, which if we take that into account here, you know, Flux mining, if the network hash rate has doubled, that means we would be making around half of this, which would still be more than we would be making mining Ethereum, which is absolutely a crazy thing to say. Now, of course, profitability goes up and down on all coins all the time, but let's have a look at what's actually happened with Flux in these last few hours and why it has gotten so incredibly profitable to mine Flux. And so the first thing that can explain that is just the recent price movement of Flux. So we are on just CoinGecko here, and as you can see, one Flux is currently worth $1.85. which if we look at the price movement here, you can see the last 7 days is what we're looking at here. So it was hovering at like just above 50 cents, and it has now shot up and is, I mean, it seems to be approaching almost $2 in price, which it has quadrupled in like a day or something, which is absolutely crazy. And as you know, we're doing a giveaway in this video together with Minerpool.org, and where we're giving away 1,000 Flux. So let's just have a look at how much money that actually is right now. So 1,000 Flux is $1,850 that we're gonna be giving away. So really stay tuned till the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win. Going to leave that there and let's move on. So There is a second reason to why Flux mining is so profitable, and it also ties into something very interesting that's going to keep happening with Flux in the near future, and that is something called parallel assets. So this is something that I believe is unique to Flux as a coin, and basically what that is with Flux you have this thing called a parallel asset, which is basically a Flux coin that exists on both the Flux blockchain as well as another coin's blockchain. So it is basically existing on both these networks at the same time. And why that is so relevant for us miners is because with mining Flux, you of course get the regular block reward for each block, but you also get an additional 10% for each of these parallel assets. So currently there are 5 parallel assets, and we're gonna have a little look here. So you can see there is Flux to Kadena parallel assets, there are Flux to Ethereum parallel assets, Flux to Binance parallel assets, Flux to Solana, and Flux to Tron. So basically if you mine Flux, you will be getting your block rewards, but you will also be getting an additional parallel asset for each of these 5. And what's happening is these first 3, Kadena, Ethereum, Binance, they are currently active and being distributed, and Solana and Tron are active but not yet distributed, and we'll get more into that in just a little bit. But there's also actually more to it than this, because as you can see here, it says there's another 5 parallel assets to come. So that means mining rewards for Flux will go up even further in the near future, which I mean is looking really good for us miners, isn't it? So let's start talking about mining Flux. And the very first thing you're gonna need to mine Flux is you will need a Flux wallet, of course. And the recommended wallet for Flux is 𝗧-𝗦𝗃. And you will just have to go to 𝗧-𝗦𝗃.io, and of course always double check, even triple check that it's actually the real wallet that you're downloading, because there's, with stuff like this, always a lot of, you know, look-alike sites that will actually give you a malware rather than the actual wallet. So always double check and triple check that you're getting the real wallet. This goes for everything to do with crypto always, basically. But so 𝗧-𝗦𝗃 is the recommended wallet for Flux. Now let's also have a quick look at exchanges for, you know, trading your Flux after you get your mining rewards. So on the official Flux website, they currently list all of the supported exchanges, which you can see there are quite a few here. And with talking with Minerpool.org, who, as I've mentioned, are sponsoring this video, their recommended exchange was Qcoin. That's the one they said they had great experience with. Now I personally have actually never exchanged Flux for anything, so I cannot vouch for any of these or say anything bad about any of these either. But just the fact that there are so many different ones, you know, is a good sign, and means you should probably, after doing your own research as always, be able to find a trustworthy exchange for, you know, changing your Flux into whatever other crypto or real money that you would want, right? So with that out the way, let's look at mining pools. And we do that by going to good old miningpoolstats.stream, and if we click our way to Flux there, we can see we got minerpool.org, currently the second biggest pool for mining Flux, with a total of around 34% of the total network hash rate. So now we know what wallet to use to mine Flux. We also know our pool, which is minerpool.org. Now let's have a look at how to actually get started mining Flux. So if we come here to minerpool.org, we can see the little Flux plus parallel assets here. Oh, and by the way, I should just mention this. As you can see, it says get 39% more rewards mining Flux. That is because minerpool.org is one of the few pools that actually supports parallel asset mining. And the reason why it's 39%, and because some of you might have been like, well, you're getting another 10% per asset and there are 5 assets, why is it not 50%? Well, that is because all of these parallel assets needs to be swapped over back to Flux before Minerpool can actually pay those assets to you. And in doing so, there are swap fees, and basically that is why there is a discrepancy there. So that is basically just how it works. But I mean, an extra almost 40% is not bad, right? But also not only that, Minerpool.org regularly does the loyalty program, which basically means they just donate more Flux to all of their miners. I went into depth on how that works in my Ravencoin pool video, so I'm not going to get too much into that here. If you want to learn more about how their loyalty program works, I recommend you check out the previous video I did for their Ravencoin pool. But let's start mining Flux, right? So we are going to click on the start mining button here on Flux, and right here you can see all of the pool stats, right? And to get started, we click the little connect button up here, and we're gonna download the miner, which I'm going to recommend Gminer because that works for both AMD and NVIDIA cards. So we're going to click on the little download button here, which brings us to the Gminer official Bitcoin Talk thread, which I always recommend checking out the official Bitcoin Talk thread for whatever miner you're downloading. It is a good way to make sure you're getting the miner from the proper source, and you validate this by seeing that it's the thread with like hundreds of pages of comments, right? So let's just scroll down here and you can see all the features of Gminer, but we want to get down to here where we have their official GitHub page, and we'll click on that and it will bring us to the official GitHub page for Gminer. And here again we can read about the miner and all its features, and if we click out here on releases, we can download the latest release for either Linux or Windows. Now before we download this, I'm just going to run you quickly through how to safely download a miner in Windows. So we're going to go down to our status bar here, and in the search we're going to click type Windows Security. We're going to click on Virus and Threat Protection. We're going to go to Virus and Threat Protection Settings and hit Manage Settings. We're going to scroll down to Exclusions, and here you're going to click on Add an Exclusion folder, and you should select a folder that you've made where you download all of your miners. Now I have already done this, so I have my miners folder here that I've made where I download all my miners to. I've made an exclusion for that already, as you can see here. But that is just good practice, and we do this because sometimes miners can be falsely flagged as malware even though they're not. So you have to make an exclusion like this in Windows Security, and if you have an additional antivirus, you will have to make a similar exclusion there too. Now of course this is always done at your own risk, but this is something you have to do in order to not run into issues while downloading a miner on your Windows computer. So with that out of the way, let's come back to the Gminer GitHub page here, and I'm going to right click on the Windows downloader, which is what I'm going to be using today, and I'm going to hit Save Link As. I'm going to select my miners folder here, and I'm going to save the zip file in there. I'm going to open this folder, I'm going to right click on the zip file, extract all, extract it here, and here's our latest Gminer version, downloaded and basically ready to mine. But before we can mine, we need to set up our batch file with our wallet address and our minerpool.org server address, right? So they actually have a preset here which is called 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗏, which is what Flux used to be called before. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rename this 𝗦Flux, and I'm going to right click on it and say edit, and it's going to say Windows protected your PC. I'm just going to say more info, run anyway, So here we can see our batch file, and what we need to put in here, minerpool.org will actually tell us. So if we come back to our browser here, and we come back to minerpool.org, we can see here, first of all, we need to choose our pool server. So we got either the EU, US, or Asia one. I'm going to go with the EU one for now, and we can use either their fixed difficulty or their variable difficulty. So for single GPU or rigs below 50 solutions per second, which we'll see in a bit, basically if you don't have very much hash rate, maybe it's like a single low power GPU, they recommend you go with the fixed difficulty pool, which is this one. Or if you have more than that, they recommend you go with the variable difficulty one, which is the second one here in the list. And now what you need to do is just come down here, and as you can see, we're on the Gminer example here. What you can do is you can just take all of this and copy it, and we'll just paste that right into your miner here, like that. Or right into your batch file, I should have said, sorry. So now we're all set up to mine here, but we still have to enter our wallet address and our worker name here. And I also recommend you choose a good password. So obviously we get our wallet address from the wallet we just set up with, for example, Zelcore, right? Your worker name can be whatever you want. So I could put like my Flux rig, and we just paste in our wallet address over here, which this isn't my real wallet address actually, it's just the one that comes with the miner, the donation address for the miner. And that is basically it. Now I'm just gonna hit the X button here and save. And now if we just double click this, we should be up and mining Flux on minerpool.org. That's basically it. And here you can see the hash rates we're getting on the different GPUs over here. But with that out of the way, that's how you mine Flux on minerpool.org. And this is what the dashboard for your worker looks like on the minerpool.org website. So you got your hash rate history here. You've got your, hash rate information, your current balance, the loyalty program, which seems to be on currently actually, which is great news. And here you can also see your pending parallel assets, which is basically the bonus mining rewards we're getting, right? Now, one thing to keep in mind about the parallel assets here is that while the Cardano, Ethereum, and Binance parallel assets are being distributed to miners right now, the Solana and Tron Flux parallel assets are not yet being distributed. So what happens is you're mining and you're accumulating them, and then come December you will be getting all of the parallel assets you've accumulated on those two networks, right, in December. So you're getting them, but you're not getting them yet, basically. So you are mining them and you are getting them, you're just not getting them paid to you yet, if that makes sense. And also one more thing I wanted to show you is that here on the dashboard you can also change your minimum payout threshold, which you just need to enter the password here that you put into your batch file, and then you can set however big or small you want your minimum payout threshold to be. Simple as that. Alright, but that is it on how to mine Flux. Now I'm going to jump over there and I'm going to tell you how you can enter to win in this Flux giveaway. Alright, so as you guys know, minerpool.org has sponsored this video so that we can do a giveaway of 1,000 Flux. And I'm going to be talking about how you can enter to win this Flux. But first, let's talk a little bit about how we're actually gonna be giving this away, because the way I see it, we could either give the whole 1,000 Flux to one single winner, we could give 500 Flux each to 2 winners, we could give 200 Flux each to 5 winners, or we could give 100 Flux each to 10 winners. And you know what? I'm just gonna leave that up to you guys. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post a poll on my community tab over here on YouTube, where I'm gonna let you guys vote on how you think we should give this, Flux away in the giveaway. And depending on how you guys vote is how we'll be giving it away. And so let's talk about how we're actually going to be picking the winners and how you guys can enter to win. So here's what we're gonna do. In order to win, what you have to do is, first thing, you have to actually mine Flux on minerpool.org, just like we've done in all the previous giveaways we've had here on the channel. So number one, you have to go mine Flux on minerpool.org. Alright, so the second step is you have to post a normal nice comment on this video, but you have to somewhere in that nice comment mention the secret word, which is kiwi. So that is what you have to do, and there's gonna have to be a third step, which is I'm going to create a Google form where you go in and you submit your YouTube username and your Flux wallet address, which has to be the same Flux wallet address that you've used to mine on minerpool.org. And the reason we have to do that is recently YouTube have been blocking comments with crypto wallet addresses in them. So that is why you can't just post the wallet addresses in the comments. We have to use this secret word method in order to do it. But so those are the three steps you have to do. Mine to minerpool.org, post a comment on this video with the secret word, which is kiwi, and submit your YouTube username and Flux wallet address in the form that will be posted in the pinned comment to this video. And that is basically it. And we will pull a winner 2 weeks from now. So you guys have 2 weeks to start mining some Flux on minerpool.org. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, then please give it one of these. I'd really appreciate it. And what you gotta do now is, after you enter the giveaway, you can click on one of these videos on the screen. Because this video is over, you can also click the picture of my face to subscribe to the channel. I'd always really appreciate that. But yeah, go click on that next video and I shall see you there. Goodbye, bye bye, goodbye, bye bye.